my name is Olivia jeviani. So today I will explain about my materials. So the material is introduce the phonetic and phonology, morphology, and syntax. So I hope that this video can help you guys to understand about this all of the materials I will tell you. So enjoy the video. So this next video. So for the first that I will explain about what is a phonetic. So phonetics is a branch of linguistics concerned with the physical properties of sounds. It focuses on the production, transmission, and the perception of sounds, regardless of their meaning or the function in a particular language. It provides the tools for describing and analyzing the wide range of sounds human can produce and produce. In the phonetics, there are also several branches, and the phonetics has three branches, and there are some branches of the phonetics. So, for the first is articulator phonetics, acoustic phonetics, and the last one is the auditory phonetics. So I will explain to you guys one by one of the branches of the phonetics. So I will explain to you what is articulator phonetics. So articulator phonetics is the branch of a phonetics that focuses on how speech sounds are physically produced by human vocal apparatus. It examines the movement and interaction of the anatomic structures known as articulations that shape and flow to create the wide variety of sounds used in the human languages. The process of sounds production begins with the respiration, where air is expelled from the lungs and passed through the trachea by the diaphragms and intercostal muscles. This airflow provides the energy needed for speech. The next stage, phonation, occurs with the larynx, where the vocal cords or vocal folds play a critical role. Depending on their position, the vocal cords can vibrate to produce voice sounds such as b, t, t, and z, or remain open to the produce voiceless sounds such as p, t, and s. The final stage in the articulation, where the airflow is modified by the interaction of active and passive articulations. Active articulations such as the tongue, lips, and lower jaw move to shape the sounds, while passive articulations include the teeth, alveolar ridge, hard palates, and soft palates or phloem remain stationary. For example, the lips come together to produce bilabial sounds like p and b, while the tongue interacts with the alveolar ridge to create alveolar sounds like t and d. The soft, the soft palate can be raised to block airflow to the nasal cavity, producing oral sounds like k and g, or lower to the allow nasal airflow as in m and a. Speech of sounds are clarified based on the three main territorial: place of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing. The place of articulations identifies where in the vocal tract the sound is produced, such as bilabial, both lips, alveolar, tongue against the alveolar ridge or velar tongue against the soft palate. The manner of articulation describes how the airflow is modified, including plosives, complete blockage of airflow, followed by the result, as in p. Fricatives, narrow constrictions, creating turbulence, as in s, z, s, and nasals, airflow through the nasal cavity, as in m. Voicing refers to whether the vocal cords vibrate during sound productions with voice sounds like z, involving vibration, and voiceless sounds like s. Now, to these classifications, articulatory phonetics also examines finer details such as the aspiration, abrupt of air accompanying plosives, as in ph in pen, tongue height, and vagueness for vowels. For example, high front e in c versus low back in father, and lip rounding, for example, rounded u in blue versus unrounded in c. These features contribute to the distinct qualities of each sound. Articulation phonetics has a wide-ranging applications. It is critical in linguistics research, particularly in documenting and analyze the sounds of engendered languages. It aids language learners in mastering pronunciation by teaching them how to produce unfamiliar sounds. In speech therapy, it helps identify and treat articulation disorders. Moreover, it is instrumental in the development of speech recognition and synthesis technologies. By studying how humans produce speech sounds, articulation phonetics provides essential insights into the mechanics of spoken language and the diversity of sounds across the world's language. The second one is acoustic phonetics. So, what is acoustic phonetics? So, acoustic phonetics is the branch of a phonetic that examines the physical property of speech sound as they travel through the air in the form of the sound wave. It focuses on the generation, transmission, and perception of these sounds by analyzing their measurable characteristics such as frequency, amplitude, and durations. Speech sounds are produced when air from the lungs is set into motion by the vocal cords and shaped by the articulators, so creating a vibration in the surrounding airs. The vibration generates sound waves that can be described in terms of their frequency. So the number of vibrations per second, which determines pitch. Amplitude, the size of the vibrations, which correspond to loudness, and the length of time sound is sustained. For the instance, high frequency sounds like S have a higher pitch, while low frequency sounds like M have a deeper tone. Similarly, louder sounds are represented by the greater amplitude, and the direction of the sound can be a crucial feature in the language where a vowels and a consonant like is the used discussing meanings. So, acoustic phonetics employ various tools to analyze speech sounds, including the waveforms and spectrograms. Waveforms provide a visual representation of the changes in the air pressure over time, showing the intensity and the duration of sounds. However, they do not display detailed frequency information. Spectrograms, on the other hand, are more detailed and depict frequency on the vertical axis, so time on the horizontal axis, and the amplitude as variations in the shading or the colors. So they are especially useful of identifying key features of speech sounds as a format, and which are resonant frequencies that define vowel's quality and a voice once at time or VOT, which distinguishes between voices and voiceless voices, like a p and p. Vowels, for instance, are categorized by their unique format patterns, with the first two formats, F1 and F2, playing a critical role in the differentiating for vowel sounds. Consonants, on the other hand, have a distinct acoustic patterns based on their manner of articulation, such as the brush of noise in the plosives, the high frequency turbulence in the fricative, or the lower energy format structure in the nalas. So, acoustic phonetics also investigates prosodic feature of speech, such as pitch, intonation, and stress, which contribute to the rhythm and the melody of spoken language. Variation in the pitch, for the example, can signal different meaning and or emotions, like distinguish a question for the statement or emphasize a particular words. Stress patterns, marked by the increased loudness, pitch, or a duration, are essential in the differentiating words in the language like English. For the example, record as a noun versus record as a verb. By analyzing these features, acoustic phonetics provides a deeper understanding of how speech carries both linguistic and paralinguistic information. The applications of acoustic phonetics are vast and interdisciplinary. In the linguistic research, it plays a crucial role in the documenting and preserving endangered languages by analyzing their sounds system or a pronouns patterns. In speech recognition technology, acoustic phonetics underpin the development of the system like a voice assistants, which rely on analyzing waveforms and spectrogram to identify phonemes and convert speech into text. It also vital in the forensic linguistics, where voice analyzing helps identify speaker or verify the authentic of sound recordings. Speech therapy use a tool to diagnose and these diagnose and treat articular disorders, often employ spectrograms to visualize speech patterns and monitor progress. In a language learning, learners can use acoustic analysis to compare their pronunciation with a native speaker, focusing on pitch, vowel formats, and the timing. Additionally, acoustic phonetics extend to erase the music, where it explore the relationship between the speech and the singing, analyzing how vocal tone transition between a spoken language and a musical performers. So, acoustic phonetics provide specific and objective frameworks for understanding the physical properties of speech sound. So the third is auditory phonetics. So what is auditory phonetics? Auditory phonetics is the branch of the phonetics that examines how speech sounds are perceived and are processed by the human auditory system. It focuses on understanding the physiological and physiological mechanisms involved in the hearing, interpret, and the discussing between the different sounds. So, unlike articulatory phonetics, which explore the production of sounds, or acoustic phonetics, which study their physical properties, auditory properties delve into the how listeners interpret these sounds once they reach the ear. The process begins with the arrival of sounds wave at the outer ear, where they are funneled into the ear canal and direct toward the eardrum. So the vibration of the eardrum are then transmitted through the middle ear via three tiny bones, the mal- malleus, in cues and steps amplify the sound and are passing it to the cochlea in the inner ear. The cochlea, a spiral space filled a field structure lines with the hair gels, converts this mechanical vibration into electrical signal that can be processed by the brain, with the cochlea hair gels respond to a specific frequencies, with the high frequency sounds activating cells near the base and low frequency sounds activating those near the apex. So this tonotopic organ organization allow the auditory system to superior and identify different frequencies present in the complex sounds like speech. So the electrical signal generation by the hair cells are transmitted via auditory nerve to the brainstem and ultimately to the auditory cortex in the brain. So here the brain analyzes the incoming information, identify phonemes, syllables, words, and high-level linguistic structures. So, auditory phonetics also explore how the brain perceives acoustic features such as pitch, loudness, duration, and tremble, all of the which play crucial roles in the dis- discussion between the speech sounds. So, for instance, pitch helps differentiate tonal languages like a Mandarin, where a vibration in the pitch contour change word meaning, while duration can distinguish a long and short vowels or a consonant in the languages like Japanese or Finnish. So another critical aspect of auditory phonetics is the study of speech perception, which examine how listeners decode a spoken language despite the variability in the pronunciations, background noise, or overlapping sounds. So humans are remarked adept at recognizing, recognizing speech under challenging conditions due to the brain ability to extract patterns and use context to fill in the gaps. For the example, in the articulations where speech sounds influence each other, listeners rely on contextual cues to understand words even if individuals' sounds are altered. Additionally, auditories phonetics investigates how speakers or of different languages perceive a sounds differently. This phenomena Now, as a categories, perception explain why some distinctions, such I and R, are clear to native speakers but challenging or speakers of a Japanese, whereas these sounds are not phonemical distinct. So, auditory phonetic has numerous applications in the fields such as a linguistic, physiology, technology, and healthcare. In the linguistics, it contributes to the understanding how sound systems in the variation language are organized and perceived by the speakers. So, in the physiology, uh, it intersects with the cognitive science to study how the brain processes auditory information and the factors influencing the perception perceptions such as memory and attention. In the technology, auditory phonetics is essential in the developing speech recognition system and hearing aids and conhealers and implants, all the which aim to enhance or replicate the human auditory perception. So for the instance, cochlear implications are designed to stimulate the auditory nerve direct by passing a damaged hair cells in the cochlear. In the healthcare, auditory phonetics play a role in diagnosing and the treating hearing impairments, speech disorders, and auditory processing disorders. By understanding how the auditory system works, and a professionals can design better therapies and the technologies to improve communication for individuals with the hearing or speech challenges. So, auditory phonetics is a vital is the vital our understanding of human perception and human speech sounds by examining the physical process in the ear and the cognitive mechanic in the brain. So the next is a phonology. Phonology is the branch of the linguistics that study the systematic organization of sounds in the spoken languages and the abstract participles that govern how these sounds are used and patterned. Unlike a phonetics, which focus on the physical properties of the sounds and their productions, phonology is a concern with the mental representations of the sounds, the rules that govern their behavior, and their role in the conveying a meaning. It examines how sounds function within a language to different set of words and how these sounds are structured into a large unit like a syllables, words, and phrases. For the example, in the English, the sound p and b are distinct phonemes because they are a different set word like pad and bad, while some languages, such as Korea, the distinction between the aspirate and unispirate p might carry a similar phonemic significance. Phonology also explore how these sound systems differ across languages and how they share universal principles, make, making it a crucial area for understanding both individual language and human linguistic capability. One of the central concepts in the phonology is the phonemes, which is the smaller unit of the sounds that can change meaning in a language. Phonemes are abstract that representation of sounds categories in the mind of the speakers. However, phonemes often have a multi surface realizations called allophones, which vary depending on the phonetic context, but do not change the meaning of the words. For the example, in the English, the th sound in the top is uprooted while in stop. So it is una-spirited, yet these variations are understood as the same phonemes by the English speakers. Phonologies study the rules that determine when and where such a variation occur, referred to as phonological rules. These rules explain process like assimilation, where a sounds become familiar to a neighboring sound; deletion, where a sounds are omitted in the certain context; and the last one is insertion, where a sound are added. This a process contribute to the fluidity and efficiency of the spoken language. The next is morphology. So morphology is the branch of the linguistic that studies the structures, formation, and classification of words. So it examines how smaller units of a meaning, known as a morphemes, combine to create a words, as well as how these words function and change with a language. So morphemes are the smallest meaningful units in a languages and can be broadly categorized into the two types. For the first is a free morphemes, which can stand alone as independent words, like for the example book and run, and a bound morphemes, which cannot stand alone and must attach to the another morphemes. For the example, prefix like un or suffix like ed. Morphology explores the rules and principles governing the combination of morphemes. So, allowing linguistics to understand how words are constructed, their internal structures, and how they evolve over time. This field also investigates morphological processes such as implication, derivation, and compounding, all the which play critical roles in the dynamic nature of the language. So, uh, one of the core areas of morphology is the implication, which involve the modifications of a word to express the grammatical relationship, such as tense, number, gender, or the case, without altering the word's core meaning. For the example, in the English, adding s to a noun like a dog indicates plurality dogs, and attending ed to a verb like walk signal past tense like walk. So, implication is a vital for aesthetic agreements, ensuring that word within a sentence grammatically another important process in the derivation, where morphemes are added to a base word to create new words with the different meaning or the grammatical categories. For the instance, adding the prefix "un" to happy creates unhappy, and adding the suffix "ness" forms happiness. Derivation expands a language's lexion and enables speakers to express nuanced ideas by the modifying existing words. Compounding, another morphological process, involves combining two or more free morphemes to form a single word, such as notebook or a basketball. Compounding is a production process in the many language, allowing the creation of described and functional terms. So the last one is the syntax. So syntax is the branch of linguistics that focus on the rule, principle, and the structures that govern the arrangement of the words and the process to form sentences in the language. It examines how different elements of a sentences, such as subjects, verbs, objects, and the modifiers, combine to create a meaningful and a grammatical correct experience. Syntax goes beyond simply arranging words in the sentence. It's also consider how words order agreement and the hierarchical structure of a sentence contribute to a meaning and a clarify. For the example, in the English, the typical words order of a declarative sentence follows the subject, verb, object, or is view. A pattern as seen in the cat subject, a case is the verb, and the mouse is the object. However, different language can have a different syntactic structures. For the examples, in the Japanese, the standard order is the subject, object, and verb. So SOV, as in the as in the cat, the mouse, cassette. So one of the key aspects of the syntax is the concept of press structures, which refer how words are grouped together to form a large unit called phrases. So phrases can be built around a main words or head and that determines the type of phrases. For the example, a noun phrase or NP might consist of a noun as the head. For the example, a dog, and the additional modifiers or determines, for the example, the big dog. A verb phrases or VP might contain a verb as the head, for the example, run, and the complements such as object, for the example, the race. And the structures of these phrases is governed by a specific syntactic rules that ensure sentences are not only grammatical correct but also convey a clear meanings. So syntactic rules are often represented through the syntax trees, which visually display how different components of a sentence are related and how phrases are nested with one another. There's these trees help illustrate how the syntax of a language operates and how sentence constitute and hierarchically organized. For the example, the sentence like the dog NP and case F and the cat is NP can be broken down into a structures where the noun phrases or NP are at the one level and the verb phrases or VP are connected them. So I think that's all guys of my explanation. I hope that my explanation can help you guys to understand what is the phonetic and phonology, morphology, and the syntax. I hope that this can help you so well. Thank you so much.